Broadcasting live for Dallas and Fort Worth, this is the news station, Fox 4 News at 9.
I'm so glad I didn't kill the boy. That's all that matters.
That's Ben Collier's reaction after a Tarrant County grand jury decided not to put him on trial for shooting his grandson.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Steve Eager.
I'm Erika Ruiz. January 1st, 2000 will mark the 3rd century Ben Collier has been alive. He's 103 years old.
And in all those years, he says his biggest regret is that he shot his grandson last month. Fox 4's Phil Alvarado live in Fort Worth newsroom tonight with more on why he will not be charged. Phil?
Well, the Tarrant County grand jury did not indict Collier. He is the oldest person ever in the Tarrant County jail, and tonight he's a free man again. 103-year-old Ben Collier arrived downtown. For the next 6 hours, a Tarrant County grand jury heard his case. Police arrested the World War I veteran for shooting his 45-year-old grandson during an argument. Besides Ben Collier, the grand jury heard testimony from his daughter and another grandson. As Ben Collier made his way out of the courthouse, he talked about being the oldest inmate in the Tarrant County jail.
You're not going to ever see another jail again, are you?
No, it's my first jail. I've been in City Hall, but I've never seen inside of a jail.
Collier said he regretted what happened. His message to his grandson:
Tell him I'm sorry. And I didn't mean to do nothing to him. No, I'm just so sorry.
In Benny's situation, every day is very important.
Collier's attorney said the fact his client is 103 years old wasn't the only factor. When grand jurors took into account the grandson's actions, there wasn't enough evidence to indict.
Knocked that door open to Benny's room, and there was a lot of verbal abuse, cussing, and things like that. It just woke Benny up, and Benny didn't know what was happening. He didn't know it was his grandson.
Tyrone Collins, Collier's grandson, is still hospitalized in critical condition. Collier's family tells us Ben isn't going back to live with his daughter where the shooting took place. He'll live with his grandnephew from now on. Reporting live in Fort Worth, Phil Alvarado, Fox 4 News.
This is the man police say is the worst child molester ever captured in Dallas, and tonight he's back in prison. David Wayne Jones left Dallas for Huntsville this morning. Jones had only been out of prison for a couple of weeks when he was busted for a parole violation at a Dallas halfway house. He'll have to spend at least 1 year now behind bars before he can be considered again for release. He admits to molesting dozens of boys he met while working as a counselor at the East Dallas YMCA. Investors worldwide were watching Microsoft today in the first full day of trading after Friday's preliminary ruling that the software giant is a monopoly.
But would it be enough to have an effect on Wall Street? Joining us with the answer is Fox 4 business reporter Scott Wapner.
Hey there, guys. I think what we learned today is that one stock, no matter how big it is not going to control the stock market. Well, for more than a year, investors stood by Bill Gates, pushing Microsoft shares higher and higher. So with this, the first chance for investors to react to the ruling, would the stock finally hit the skids? And what does it mean to your portfolio? Minutes after Judge Jackson released his finding of fact declaring Microsoft a monopoly, company founder Bill Gates went on the offensive.
And believe the American legal system ultimately will affirm that Microsoft's actions and innovations were fair and legal and have brought tremendous benefits to millions of consumers.
If the response was meant to convince investors not to punish the software giant, it didn't appear to work. In the opening hours of the first trading session since the ruling, investors sold, pushing Microsoft down nearly 9%. Gates himself lost $6 billion at the morning low. But to many analysts, the dip meant an opportunity.
I would actually believe that rather than selling the stock, people should take a look at Microsoft, particularly if they don't own it, as for opportunities when to buy into the company.
Many people did. By the end of the day, shares came all the way back, finishing down only 1 5/8 at $89 a share. To many experts, even if Microsoft is broken up, it wouldn't necessarily be so bad for shareholders.
If you take a longer-term picture and look at the historical precedents when AT&T and Standard Oil were broken up, similar antitrust kind of cases, those who held on did benefit over the long term because the entities that were created out of the breakup of those stocks did fantastically over the years.
With a market cap of nearly $500 billion, Microsoft makes up 14% of the NASDAQ's total value. Every dollar it moves up or down moves the Dow about $5, and 1/3 of all mutual funds own some Microsoft stock. Now, keep in mind, the monopoly finding is not legally binding until a final verdict is reached, and that could take years. But investors say Microsoft's problems are an opportunity for some of its fiercest competitors. Now, here's a look at how some of those stocks did. Red Hat shares had a big day. The makers of the Linux operating system up nearly $18 a share. Sun Microsystems up 2 and change. And Apple Computer, mentioned specifically as one of the companies hurt by Microsoft, its shares closed up more than $8. Well, the Microsoft roller coaster did not derail the markets. The Dow finished the day up 14 points at 10,717. A good day for technology issues. Internet stocks leading the NASDAQ up 42 points. Its 7th straight record high. The S&P 500 also up 6 3/4. That's a look at the business line. I'm Scott Wapner, Fox 4 News.
As Bill Gates' company stock fluctuates, so does his personal net worth. As Scott mentioned at one point, once shares of Microsoft were down almost 10%, the head of the software giant lost $6 billion of his personal fortune. He regained most of that loss, though, and tonight Bill Gates has a net worth of $70.79 billion. For a website that puts that staggering sum of money into perspective, just go to KDFW-Fox4.com and click on News for a link to the Bill Gates net worth page. A new survey finds most people, 67% in fact, have a favorable opinion of the Microsoft Corporation. The Gallup poll, which was taken over the weekend, finds only 16% have bad feelings about Microsoft, despite all the jokes that are made about the Windows operating system. As far as punishment goes, more than half of those surveyed oppose a government-ordered breakup of Microsoft, while a little more than a third are in favor of it.
One of the first online services in the country is about to buy the largest internet service provider in North Texas. Prodigy is snapping up Fort Worth-based Flashnet. In the deal, Flashnet shareholders would get shares of Prodigy, and Prodigy might even move its home base from White Plains, New York to Fort Worth. About 220,000 people use Flashnet for internet service, but it's had some problems keeping up with demand for free PCs it's offered in exchange for a long-term service contract. Flashnet subscribers would become part of Prodigy's 1 million plus customer base. Well, it was a crime that shocked all of North Texas back in 1982.
Larry Keith Robinson was sentenced to die for murdering 5 people, but his family insists he should not be put to death because he was mentally incompetent when he did it. Today, a judge disagreed and said he should die. Fox 4's Shaun Rabb has our story.
Well, the families of the victims of Larry Keith Robinson say his death will bring them closure, but his family still vows to fight to keep him from dying. They say he was not sane when he took an axe to 5 people August 10th, 1982.
Well, it seems to me that the court doesn't care whether Larry was insane when he committed the crime.
The crime too horrible for many to believe. August 10th, 1982, 5 people mutilated in Lake Worth, including a 10-year-old boy. The killer, Larry Keith Robinson, a paranoid schizophrenic. Robison's family told Fox 4 News he was a good boy who began having unfounded fears by his teen years, then hearing voices in his early 20s. They say they tried to get him help before the murders, but say no state agency would help because Larry Keith had no history of violence. Robinson recalled what was happening in his mind while he was murdering.
I felt like I should have been transported along with the souls of these people to another dimension, and everything would be more clear. You know, I would know more things, and everybody would be happy, and the celebration.
Robison's been on death row for 16 years, while his family appealed, citing his being mentally challenged. 2 months ago, the Texas Court of Criminal Appeals blocked his execution, writing his mental condition warranted another look at his conviction. State District Judge Everett Young Monday ruled otherwise, deciding Robison's psychiatric reports indicate he understands why he's being put to death.
Well, based on the doctor's reports, all of them agreed that he is competent under the statute to be executed.
Robinson took the stand at his competency hearing and apologized to the victim's friends and family if the attention surrounding his hearing had caused them consternation.
Well, I was glad that he finally said something, you know, that he owned up to what he did to our families, and I'm glad this will soon maybe be all over for all of us.
No, I welcome it. I welcome it because, well, having spent this many years on death row, I've thought a lot about it, and I'm even glad and find a certain joy in the fact that I'll be leaving soon.
Robeson's family plans to appeal. Shaun, Rabb, Fox 4 News.
A new underwater robot could help search crews recover the black boxes from EgyptAir Flight 990. And this afternoon, the so-called Magnum robot was sent to the ocean floor to try to help retrieve the cockpit and flight data recorders. They are buried under 6 feet of wreckage deep in the Atlantic. The civilian-operated robot is tougher and more flexible than the Navy's robot, the Deep Drone it's called. The black boxes will continue making pinging noises for another 3 weeks to help crews locate them on the bottom.
It was a mild Monday in the Metroplex. This morning we started off with some cloud cover out there, but watch what happens as we heat up the atmosphere. We literally evaporate the moisture that's in the sky. Our sky turned mostly sunny. That's how we spent the rest of the day today. Out there tonight, the sky is still mostly clear, and that means we're going to cool things off, but because of a south wind blowing across the area, probably not as cool as it has been. Temperatures overnight tonight will probably drop back into the 50s. Right now, we're at 65 degrees in Fort Worth, 67 in Dallas, 63 in McKinney, and 61 in Denton. Winds are still blowing out of the south. They'll increase in speed a little bit tomorrow, but it's that south wind that'll warm us up toward 80 in the afternoon. Details are coming up in your forewarned forecast.
Tim, see you soon. Thank you. Governor George W. Bush today picked up more campaign cash and key endorsements from Democrats in Florida. At his side, his most influential supporter in the Sunshine State, his brother, Governor Jeb Bush. The Republican presidential frontrunner raised about $600,000 during stops today in Orlando and Jacksonville, and at least 5 Florida politicians crossed party lines to endorse Bush, including the Democratic mayors of Tampa and Fort Lauderdale.
Defying special interests and never forgetting those heroes with whom he served.
This presidential campaign ad has Arizona Senator John McCain at odds with the Army tonight. The Army says McCain's campaign did not have permission to film the candidate walking through Arlington National Cemetery. The Army also says had McCain asked, he would have been turned down. That's because partisan activity is banned at all Army installations. Campaign officials say the Republican presidential candidate was visiting the graves of his father and his grandfather when he was filmed. McCain's people say they have no plans to pull the ad off the air, and the Army so far hasn't said what, if anything, it might do.
Animal control tried using a live rooster to lure a large wild cat into a trap, but all it caught was a lot of slack. The trap was set in the 5200 block of Rancheto Lane, southwest of downtown, to catch what could be a mountain lion on the prowl. Fox 4's Lena Lewis has the update.
Someone thought this rooster could help catch a wild animal that may be running loose in southwest Dallas. The catch? The rooster would lose its life, and that has some animal lovers outraged.
Lord have mercy. There's just no reason for doing that. There are other baits that will draw animals.
Attorney Donald Fear says he's angry this rooster was made to serve as a sitting duck to help catch a wild animal.
You should not torture an animal. That's just not acceptable in today's society.
Fear says it's against the law to torture an animal or put it in a position to be in a confrontation with another animal. And he says in this case, someone broke the law.
Clearly, the conduct of placing a chicken as live bait for a predator inside a cage is cruel confinement. It certainly is going to be tortured as it's ripped to shreds by the predator.
Right there.
But Chick Libby says these paw prints around his house that are the size of his hand scare him. He believes it's a wild cat of some sort, and losing a rooster, he feels, is not that big of a sacrifice.
I'd rather see the rooster go than a child. And like I told him yesterday, I got 20 grandkids and 6 great-grandkids, and I darn sure don't want to lose one of them.
But the rooster is no longer on live bait duty. He's still behind bars, but now at a local shelter. Workers here say he'll probably be sent to some sort of a safe haven for birds. And the head of code enforcement says they're going to get to the bottom of why this rooster was brought out to do a job that's apparently against the law for him to do.
The whole incident is under investigation, but I do want to make it clear that it is not the policy of the City of Dallas or the Department of Code Compliance nor Animal Control to use a live animal as bait.
Aside from that investigation, Mungera says they're also going to be looking into whether or not there is actually some sort of wild animal running around out here. In Southwest Dallas, Lena Lewis, Fox 4 News.
They breathe, they feel pain, they're happy, they all have a personality. They're my babies.
But do they have legal rights? A lot of people want to treat their pets as much more than property. Tonight we put the Fox 4 focus on pets. Are they people too?
Also, the country's second largest healthcare provider makes a major announcement that could affect how your doctor deals with you and how you deal with insurance.
Alcohol is supposed to be bad for your liver. A new study finds something different, and it's a study a lot of people are taking very seriously. James?
How attacks on these animals could dash the college hopes of some high school students. I'm James Rose. I'll explain in a live report just ahead.
Tomorrow on Good Day Dallas.
How to regain your youth without going under the knife.
Plus, a North Texas pediatrician shares her secrets of success.
Also, finding emotional stability the natural way.
And the most local weather and traffic tomorrow on Good Day Dallas.
One of Hollywood's brightest stars, Harvey Keitel, and a man who really knows the stars, John Glenn.
Out of this world.
On Live.
Tomorrow at 9 on Fox 4.
On the next session of divorce court, he left her for another woman.
I am with her sister now.
So what is this, sharing in the family? The last day that he left, she came over and gave me a hug saying, oh, I know he loves you, but he goes and has sex with her the same night. What a It's a fact.
The next session of divorce court.
Tomorrow at 12:30 on Fox 4.
You made 2 babies. You got to do more than look at them.
Babies 2, job none.
He's a very sharp young man. Sharp guys don't knock up a 16-year-old girl.
Justice with an attitude. Judge Judy.
Tomorrow at 4 on Fox 4.
She says,
I love you, Eric.
he says,
I love cake.
and all knew that 70s show. Then she never dreamed being popular.
You want to go somewhere where the music's not so loud?
Could be dangerous.
I'm saying no!
An all-new Party of 5.
Tuesday starting at 7 on Fox 4.
What a hassle. My phone's been disconnected.
Call 1-800-4-A-PHONE.
I called the phone company, but they wouldn't work with me.
You need 1-800-4-A-PHONE. With 1-800-4-A-PHONE, you can have a home phone for only $27.85 a month. That's right, only $27.85 for basic service. Plus, with 1-800-4-A-PHONE, you can add any optional features you choose. Tired of high prices and hassles with your phone company? Then get connected with 1-800-4-A-PHONE today. It's easy. There's no credit, check ID, or deposit required. Get connected fast. Call 1-800-4-A-PHONE today.
You're watching Fox 4 News, the news station.
The score is far from settled tonight in the case of a high school rivalry gone way too far in the Carrollton Farmers Branch School District.
And those few minutes of mindless violence last week could have a lasting effect on some of the students' futures. The attack on some farm animals happened at the Outdoor Learning Center just west of I-35 at Sandy Lake Road. Fox 4's James Rose has the latest.
I'm sort of, I guess, in shock. I really don't believe what's happening.
It was Rocky Garza's young turkeys that were painted green and killed Thursday night, the night before the big rivalry between R.L. Turner and Newman Smith. Out of 50 birds, he now has 21. They weren't just ordinary birds. Garza was banking his future on these birds. They were competition birds.
The past few years I've done it, I've been, you know, anywhere from the top 10, top 25 out of 300 birds and competing with everyone in the state of Texas for the money and the scholarships.
Scholarships worth thousands of dollars. His chances now basically cut in half. Cody Cross's 500-pound pig, Curly Sue, isn't a show pig, but she is pregnant. Cody says she's recovering well after being beaten with a 2x4 and painted green.
She's doing better. She's up walking around and eating more food than before.
We will move for expulsion.
Carrollton Farmers Branch school officials believe it's all part of a rivalry between Newman Smith and R.L. Turner.
It has never, ever been in this school district before that anything beyond a little paint on cars. And we were all just totally shocked by this.
Superintendent Dr. Annette Griffin says arrests are imminent. Griffin says she believes as many as 4 Newman Smith students were involved. Capel police won't talk specifics, but say those responsible will face stiff penalties.
It's a state jail felony. It's a criminal mischief offense. So they're looking at anywhere from 180 to 2 years in a state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine.
Now, Newman Smith students who are appalled by this allegations of violence against these animals have raised some money to help some of the students here who are raising their animals for show. They hope that will change their image if indeed Newman Smith is responsible. Live in Capel, James Rose, Fox 4 News.
Well, how do you feel about your dog or your cat, domestic pets? If you're like a lot of people, you probably treat them like a member of the family.
Well, now a national campaign is underway to give pets the same basic rights as humans. Steve Stoller is here with a Fox 4 Focus special report on pets tonight. Steve.
Steve and Erika, animal rights activists are trying to change the way we look at our pets. Here in Texas, like most other states, dogs and cats are considered personal property. If someone accidentally kills your pet, the law may help you recover the cost of the pet, but that's about it. Animal lovers say that's wrong.
Come here, baby.
Go here, baby. Go on. 6 out of every 10 North Texas families get love, affection, and even their morning newspaper from at least one dog or cat.
Yeah, no, they're just good people to talk to.
That's my baby. These my little bitty babies.
For 24 years, Doris Danner has nursed thousands of sick, injured, or unwanted dogs and cats back to health for the SPCA of Texas.
They breathe, they feel pain, they're happy, they all have a personality. They're my babies.
Meet Rosebud, the Boston Terrier, Bee, the Chihuahua. Without Doris, these animals would have been killed.
My TV is my property. That's my baby.
I like your dog. Here's your dog. What do you think about that?
Look closely at the faces of these senior citizens at the Golden Acres Nursing Home. There's a twinkle in their eyes. You can feel the happiness. When the dogs walk into the room, it's a pet prescription that relieves aches and pain, even depression.
We'll give her another one.
A non-profit volunteer organization makes this possible.
Oh, that's good stuff. Shake.
The dogs are trained to play with the elderly and disabled. Folks at Golden Acres say it's more than love.
Pretty good, huh?
It's therapy.
Oh, it's certainly more than an object. They're a living, breathing creature, and they have feelings, they have thoughts.
Good boy. Yeah. You know, when you're out walking at night and you're by yourself and you're checking doors, it's nice to have a partner like this around. Zeno is much more than Officer Rick McDonald's pet. The German Shepherd is his partner. That's a good boy. Yeah. And friend. Yeah. I bathe him, you know, all the time, keep him clean and brushed out and brush his teeth and take care of him. And in return, he comes out at night with me and he protects me and tries to take care of me. McDonald's life can depend on Zeno. I can always tell sometimes what he's thinking, and he can tell what I'm thinking. The law considers pets personal property. But people think of them as family. Look at it. Even children.
It's Jim Flaherty versus Tony Flaherty in today's session of Divorce Court.
That's how dogs and cats wind up trapped in custody battles in divorce cases.
So what are you fighting over now, then?
In 1 out of every 20 divorces, people are fighting over a pet.
All I want is a dog, Your Honor. We have 2 dogs in our marriage.
So all you want is a dog?
Give the ranch away. Well, I want my kids, but... Give the Cadillac away. They're better off at the house for now.
Let her have the airplane.
All I wanted was one of our dogs.
We're gonna go to war over the poodle.
And it's not just poodles who are winding up in court. Cases involving gorillas, chimpanzees, pigeons, and even fire ants are all ending up in the courtroom. And you won't believe some of the rulings. And if you think animal law is a joke, then why do Harvard and Georgetown law schools teach courses in it?
When we return, meet the man who says he's the lawyer for every pet and animal in Texas.
I've represented the welfare of everything from dogs, cats, pigeons, bats, tigers.
Here is on a mission.
People are saying, no, this is enough of this, treating them like they're throwaway coffee cups.
Our skyways are like highways. Everyone wants to get somewhere at the same time. That means major traffic jams on the runways and in the air. Still, the airlines want more flights. Can the system handle it? Fox 4 investigates tomorrow starting at 9 on the news station.
On the next episode of Seinfeld. You know, I hear that all the time.
Hear what?
That I'm gay. People think I'm gay because I'm single, I'm thin, and I'm neat. I'm not gay. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No, of course not.
I mean, I have many gay friends.
My father's gay.
Look,
Jerry, the masquerade is over. You're thin, late 30s, single.
So are you.
Yeah.
Seinfeld, tomorrow at 6:30 on Fox 4.
It's the biggest night of their lives.
Hi, Steve. Take you, Jen.
You make me so happy.
An all-new 90210. Then, will Megan Green steal her best friend's boyfriend?
And we have contact.
An all-new Get Real.
Wednesday, starting at 7 on Fox 4.
Fox, change begins with you.
Imagine not being able to read a menu or a magazine or even a birthday card. Pretty awful. Now imagine helping to teach a child how to read a kid's book or even a note that says, I love you. It's pretty terrific. You can help to stamp out illiteracy. Help a child to read. Imagine how great you'll feel.
To learn how you can make a difference, contact the Metroplex Mentor Center.
I'm Bruce Flint. Insurance companies sure aren't bashful about their premiums being paid on time. You should demand the same, whether it's property damage, medical bills, lost wages, or disability. Don't let the insurance company buy real estate or shopping malls with your money. Call me, I'm Bruce Flint, at 1-800-94-FLINT. I'll have one of my investigators to you within 24 hours. I'll tell the insurance companies to show me the money.
Our destination in cyberspace. Fox 4 Online.
So, do you consider yourself a pet owner, or are you more like a guardian? You know, in the eyes of the law, pets are property. And as our story continues now, a warning about some video that may disturb you. It certainly bothered a local lawyer. Fox 4 Steve Stoller with the man who not only talks with the animals, he gives them a voice.
When Texas Tech wanted to find out what kind of damage fire ants would do to young deer, Don Fear sued the university to stop it.
When it gets down to the love of that companion animal, they will stay there and fight for days.
Fear is an animal attorney. He says he doesn't do it for the money. There's no money in it.
I've represented the welfare of everything from dogs, cats, pigeons, bats, tigers.
Fear is part of a growing trend across the country. In fact, two of the nation's most prestigious law schools, Harvard and Georgetown, now offer courses in animal law. Fear says public attitudes are changing, and that's why more and more cases involving animals are going to court.
And I think a lot of citizens are starting to advocate that they be treated humanely.
Killing animals is an absurdity.
That they have the right not to be tortured and abused and starved and denied medical care.
In Fear's latest legal battle, he fought for the rights of pigeons.
Take your children home!
He represented several animal rights groups.
This comes every year.
Against the Dallas Gun Club.
It's barbaric.
Fear won and stopped the club's annual pigeon shoots.
They have the right not to be shot out of the air just so you can watch them bounce on the ground.
The Dallas Gun Club's lawyer would not talk to us on camera. But Fox 4 News obtained these pictures from an actual pigeon shoot in Pennsylvania. This 65-year-old event was canceled after the Pennsylvania Supreme Court declared it inhumane and in violation of the law.
The bird is down in here, and what happens is it pops open like that, and the canvas snaps, and it just throws the bird up in the air.
State District Judge John Marshall banned the Dallas Gun Club's pigeon shoot. In a powerful written statement, the judge called it barbaric, repugnant, and cruel. Marshall wrote, "To categorize this event as sport is an insult to every true sportsman."
We are all fellow travelers on Spaceship Earth. And because of that, we, as the relatively intelligent ones on the dry land, have a responsibility, not just to plunder the garden, but to tend the garden.
Do you think he's going to be okay?
Marshall says the more he heard, the angrier he got.
Because we are smarter than they are, we have a responsibility to see to it that they are not abused, even if we're going to kill them. It has to be done in such a way that they don't suffer. That's wrong.
Critics call animal law absurd and a joke in the legal system. They sarcastically ask, if pigeons have rights, what's next? Cockroaches?
Do you tear its legs off, rip off the feelers, and then enthusiastically cut it in two with a razor blade? No. You stomp on it. I don't think you're going to have an issue of cruelty on cockroaches.
The animal can't sue you. The animal certainly can't call the police. So it just gets abused. So we've got to start seeing that as a living being that needs our help.
The animal lawyers are trying to chip away at a fundamental principle in American and Texas law, that animals are property and have no rights. This movement is strongest in San Francisco, as we'll show you with 10.
Animals are not children on 4 legs of fur.
Is there a difference between an owner and a guardian?
I believe in guardianship of animals, not ownership of animals.
How far would you let someone else go to protect your pet?
This is ding battery at the highest order.
It's off to San Francisco, when our Pets People 2 continues tonight at 10.
When I heard about it, I thought maybe it had to have been a black person.
She's talking about a juror at her ex-boyfriend's murder trial. She says race led to the mistrial in the murder case of the workers killed at a Dallas video store. An HMO that serves 14 million Americans makes a major change, letting doctors have the final say. Will other groups follow suit? World leaders mark the anniversary of the end of the Iron Curtain. And local kids get up close and personal with a legendary musician. The story straight ahead on Fox 4 News at 9.
I'm Ruiz. We've got news stories coming your way tonight on Fox 4 News at 10. Imagine getting to ask the president anything you wanted. Lots of people did just that tonight. We're going to tell you how.
We looked at a food supply. We talked to the major grocery chains. Most of them stock a 5-day supply. At the wholesale and warehouse level, we have a 14-day supply.
Preparing for Y2K problems here in North Texas. See what one major city has in store in case there is a crisis. See you tonight at 10.
It's Sally's first hotel room.
You know what this means?
No, ma'am.
We're in heaven.
A gal could get used to this.
Darling, when you're done with the bathroom, just to credenza and fertilize the potted plants. I want them blooming and making me happy.
Next, third box.
Till checkout time tomorrow, I'm the queen.
Tomorrow at 10:30 on Fox 4.
If you'd like to view the quarterly children's programming report for KDFW Fox 4, stop by our studios at 400 North Griffin Street in Dallas during regular business hours.
Fox. Change begins with you.
You pick up a newspaper, listen to a newscast. Pretty depressing stuff, right? Well, what are you going to do? Turn the channel or do something about it? If you don't want to see a kid turn out wrong tomorrow, then help him today. Make headlines in a kid's life. Become a mentor, because it really will make a difference.
Learn how you can make a difference. Contact the Metroplex Mentor Center.
Hello, I'm Weldon Grisham. My many years' experience as a bankruptcy attorney has taught me that unexpected events can sometimes lead to financial distress. If it appears there's no way out of your financial problem, I can help you. Call me for a free appointment.
Badly in debt? Call the law office of Weldon Grisham, bankruptcy attorney. See what your options are. No pressure, no obligation. Weekend and evening appointments available. If you decide to proceed, an easy payment plan will be custom designed for you.
I don't like spending time at the car finance office. The Get a Yes Network accepted my application over the phone, and all the paperwork was ready when I arrived at the dealership.
Call the Get a Yes Network now using your touchtone phone. This is a free call, 24 hours a day. 1-800-GET-A-YES.
A year ago, my credit was wrecked. For 6 months now, I've been making my payments on time. The truck loan I got by calling the Get a Yes Network is helping take the final dent out of my credit.
If you've had your credit in a mess, call 1-800-GET-A-YES. That's 1-800-GET-A-YES.
You're watching Fox 4 News, the news station.
It sounds simple enough. Healthcare providers allowing doctors to have the final say on medical decisions.
But many critics say money and not medicine is too often the deciding factor in those decisions. Well, today our nation's second largest HMO announced it would stop trying to save money by deciding what was and wasn't necessary and leave that up to the doctors. What will that mean for other plans? Tonight, Eileen O'Connor has the story.
The second largest healthcare provider reversed course on its policy of reviewing and sometimes overruling a doctor's decision. United Healthcare admits as a means of controlling costs, the widely practiced policy backfired, actually costing them more than the treatments it denied.
We believe that this is a consumer-focused approach to healthcare. So we believe that our members are going to have a better healthcare experience.
Before he gets to that emergency room, he has a cardiac arrest.
Horror stories of people denied care through such reviews fueled public criticism and political debate against managed care. Representatives of the industry countered such reviews are a pillar of cost controls in managed care. Other companies are non-committal on whether anyone else will follow United's lead.
All the plans will have a different approach to actually meeting the objective of setting general standards and making sure that paperwork and hassle factor is minimized.
Doctors' groups have long complained the process of review drives up costs in their offices through administrative overhead. And more importantly, patient care suffers. To them, the move is vindication.
It's good for patients in that they're going to get the necessary and appropriate care in a timely manner. And it's good for doctors because they will be able to take care of their patients as they see fit. And it should do away with a lot of the hassle factor and the administrative nightmares that physicians are talking about.
United says it will cut 20% of its administrative review staff. So any extra costs incurred by doctors ordering more tests should be made up through cuts in overhead. Eileen O'Connor, Washington.
It's a medical fact that too much alcohol can damage your liver, but one drink a day could actually be beneficial. Liver specialists meeting in Dallas this week are presenting research results involving rats and alcohol. Scientists removed a portion of the liver from a group of rats. Those given light doses of alcohol actually had a more rapid recovery and an increase in liver repair than those that received only water. Specialists say the study's not a license to drink too much. One juror stood in the way of a conviction against the accused killer in the so-called Blockbuster murders.
The deadlock forced a mistrial over the weekend, and tonight a key witness in that trial claims it was a race-based holdout. Fox 4's Rebecca Aguilar has a story you will only see on Fox.
You know, he probably thought it was real funny.
Rita Washington thought she would never have to deal with Leon Dorsey IV again after she testified against her ex-boyfriend in his capital murder trial in Dallas.
He told me that he had killed 2 boys at Blockbuster.
Last week, Washington testified that Dorsey told her in April 1994 that he killed James Armstrong and Brad Lindsay at the East Dallas Blockbuster video store. On the witness stand, she explained in detail how Dorsey ordered her to change his hairstyle after he saw himself in surveillance tapes shown on television, and how he threw the jacket he was wearing in the garbage.
I seen a black male.
But Washington says she knew one juror she faced would side with Dorsey.
He probably wouldn't want to convict somebody of his own color. That's the way I seen it.
You think that's the only reason why?
Yeah.
Court sources tell us one African-American male juror was the deciding factor in the hung jury. Washington believes that person victimized the parents of the Blockbuster victims again.
I don't think he did the right thing.
Leon Dorsey's defense attorneys say their client was not the man in the surveillance tapes. But Washington says he is the killer and should pay for his crimes with his own life.
I mean, killing 2, 3 people, and then I feel he shouldn't just sit there in the pen. I mean, they kids on here, so he shouldn't be here.
Dorsey, who is doing 60 years in prison for the murder of an Ennis woman, will stay in the Dallas jail until his new trial. Rebecca Aguilar, Fox 4 News.
And prosecutors are promising they will not let this case go cold. On Wednesday, they will meet with the judge to decide when to start picking another jury for a new trial.
DVD 3D is supposed to be pirate-proof technology for movie makers. Not anymore.
And it's something our kids don't know much about, but we grew up with it. Coming up, remembering the fall of the Berlin Wall, and an honor for former President Bush.
Tomorrow on Good Day Dallas.
How to regain your youth without going under the knife.
Plus, a North Texas pediatrician shares her secrets of success.
Also, finding emotional stability the natural way.
And the most local weather and traffic tomorrow on Good Day Dallas.
You made 2 babies. You got to do more than look at them.
Babies 2, job none.
He's a very sharp young man. Sharp guys don't knock up a 16-year-old girl.
Justice with an attitude. Judge Judy.
Tomorrow at 4 on Fox 4.
On the next episode of Seinfeld. You know, I hear that all the time.
Hear what?
That I'm gay. People think I'm gay because I'm single, I'm thin, and I'm neat. I'm not gay. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No, of course not.
I mean, I have many gay friends.
My father's gay.
Look,
Jerry, the masquerade is over. You're thin, late 30s, single. So are you.
Yeah.
Seinfeld, tomorrow at 6:30 on Fox 4.
She says,
I love you, Eric.
he says,
I love cake.
and all knew that 70s show. Then she never dreamed being popular
You want to go somewhere where the music's not so loud?
could be dangerous.
I'm saying no!
An all-new Party of 5.
Tuesday, starting at 7 on Fox 4.
36 years in the same location with the same ownership is not an accident. It's where the customer comes first without the high cost of big city dealers.
99 Oldsmobile Silhouette with Durant discounts of more than $4,500. You can own it today for only $22,888. The 99 Alero GX with over $3,300 in additional discounts. Now just $13,988.
I'm Skip Bergen, General Manager, Durant Chevrolet Oldsmobile Jeep, just minutes west of the Metroplex on Highway 377 East.
When the Berlin Wall went up back in 1961, it not only divided East and West Berlin, it became the symbol of communism. The wall also became a sort of ground zero for American presidents to preach democracy and in the process usually take a swipe at communism. Well, on this 10-year anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall, we look back at some presidential moments in the fight for freedom.
Today, in the world of freedom, the proudest boast is, Ich bin ein Berliner.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
It can be truly said that the streets of Berlin have been consecrated in the eternal struggle for freedom. For over 40 years, and even to this day, Berlin has served as a beacon of hope to the oppressed and an enduring lodestar of inspiration to the free.
So today I say to you it is important to recall the major events of that period, to remember the role America was privileged to play in the victory of freedom in Europe, to review what we have done since to realize the promise of that victory, and most important of all, to reaffirm our determination to finish the job, to complete a Europe whole, free, democratic, and at peace for the first time in all of history.
The wall has been down for 10 years now, but tensions between the people it used to divide still exist today. An example of that is a last-minute change to tomorrow's official ceremony in Berlin, where former President Bush will be named an honorary citizen of Berlin. Mr. Bush and German Chancellor Helmut Kohl have been forced to shorten their speeches, essentially, because the city was forced to add an East German speaker to the program.
A trip to the grocery store without leaving home. The latest advance in technology straight ahead. So first, a live look from our downtown tower cam. So nice out there, you may not want to stay home. You might want to walk to the store. Tim Heller's in next with your forecast.
On
On the next session of divorce court, he left her for another woman.
I am with her sister now.
So what is this, sharing in the family?
The last day that he left, she came over and gave me a hug saying, oh, I know he loves you, but he goes and has sex with her the same night.
What a
It's
trip.
a fact.
The next session of divorce court.
Tomorrow at 12:30 on Fox 4.
It's Sally's first hotel room.
You know what this means? No, ma'am. We're in heaven.
A gal could get used to this.
Charlie, when you're done with the bathroom, just the credenza and fertilize the potted plants. I want them blooming and making me happy.
Next, third box.
Till checkout time tomorrow, I'm the queen.
Tomorrow at 10:30 on Fox 4.
It's the biggest night of their lives.
Hi, Steve. Take you, Jen.
You make me so happy.
An all-new 90210. Then, will Megan Green steal her best friend's boyfriend?
And we have contact.
An all-new Get Real.
Wednesday starting at 7 on Fox 4.
Fox. Change begins with you.
You pick up a newspaper, listen to a newscast. Pretty depressing stuff, right? Well, what are you going to do? Turn the channel or do something about it? If you don't want to see a kid turn out wrong tomorrow, then help him today. Make headlines in a kid's life. Become a mentor, because it really will make a difference.
Learn how you can make a difference. Contact the Metroplex Mentor Center.
After the accident, I couldn't go back to work, but that didn't stop the medical bills and everyday expenses. I'm a single mom and my daughter needs me. I didn't know what to do, but then I called Bruce Flint, and he knew what to do.
If you were seriously hurt in an accident, call me, Bruce Flint, at 1-800-94-FLINT. We'll come to you within 24 hours.
Thanks to my attorney, Bruce Flint, my life is back on track.
Thanks, Mr. Flint.
It's unusual to have temperatures this warm this time of the year, but nobody seems to be complaining about highs in the upper 70s, low 80s, and that's a good thing because we've got several more days ahead where we're going to find numbers just like this on the weather map. Today, your Fox 4 weather trackers reporting in numbers like 80 degrees from Heather Kimberlin up in Greenville, 82 in Arlington and Colleyville, 80 degrees from JT Jack Thompson down in Lillian, and 79 from Mike Junkin in Palmer. That was this afternoon. Out there tonight, it is still a mild 65 degrees, a comfortable night with a clear sky and a south wind at 8 miles an hour. Atmosphere's dry, humidity only 58% right now, but the dew point is at 50. Still considered dry at that level. The pressure tonight steady at 30. 11. Overnight, we'll drop it down to about 56 degrees. That dew point at 50 gives us an indication of how low the temperatures could fall, but I think the south wind will help keep us in the mid-50s. Some late high clouds moving by tonight, and then tomorrow, mostly sunny. High temperature of 78 to about 80 degrees again, with south winds back at about 10 to 20 miles an hour. There is rain falling on the weather map tonight, but it's just not moving toward Texas. Early this morning, about 12 hours ago, 9 o'clock this morning, heavy rainfall coming in the Pacific Northwest, Seattle, inundated with the showers. And as we fly back tonight and we progress the maps forward about 12 hours to the current hour, you'll notice that the showers are coming eastward, but it looks like the jet stream is going to keep all of this precipitation north and west of us. As a matter of fact, the moisture gets pulled up to the north and east, completely bypassing the state of Texas. It's because of ridge and of high pressure in the upper part of the atmosphere. Same type of setup we see in the summertime that keeps us hot and dry. Well, this time of the year, that kind of setup also keeps us dry and warm, and that's what we're going to be in the next few days. Back on the surface tonight, high pressure moving east accounts for the south wind blowing across the area, and today the temperature soared back up into the 60s and 70s as far north as the U.S.-Canadian border. In fact, even at this hour in Minneapolis, it is 68 degrees. That's warmer than places like Oklahoma City, which should be 68. Right now it's 58 degrees, 59 in Midland, and 57 degrees right now in Houston. Weather map shows tomorrow that storm system in the west coast getting a little bit closer, but from here, all the moisture will be diverted to the north of us, so our skies will stay mostly sunny. South winds will continue to blow, which means the temperatures will continue to be rather mild. We'll start off with readings in the morning hours, probably back up in the mid to upper 50s. By the afternoon, look for high temperatures up near 80 degrees. And into the weekend, more the same. Now, Wednesday, we do get a little trough of low pressure coming through. I think it might kick off a few extra clouds, but in terms of rainfall, we're not expecting it at this point. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, all looking mostly sunny. Highs upper 70s near 80. Can't tell you by Sunday and Monday, there is a system that's coming in. At least at this point, it looks like that could bring us a few showers. We'll see later on this week.
Far off at the end of the forecast.
That's right.
Okay, thank you. There's a new way to squeeze grocery shopping into your already busy schedule. GroceryWorks.com made its debut today in downtown Dallas. The online grocer will bring anything you need, including fish, meat, and vegetable, right to your front door, fresh. The minimum order is $75, but you don't have to pay a delivery fee. The delivery area stretches north from downtown, Frisco, Richardson, and Plano. The service officially goes online next Monday. And something that big Hollywood studios thought could never happen has. Someone has broken the code to copying digital video discs. A security snafu led to a program on how to burn DVDs being posted on the internet, free for anybody to download. But pirating DVDs isn't so cheap. A DVD recorder goes for about $5,000 and blank discs about 50 bucks a pop. Experts say those prices will eventually drop. Well, this man has plenty of friends tonight in North Texas.
James Taylor also made some friends earlier today. The singer's story coming up next.
What works and what doesn't.
Fox Tuesday. Can't get enough of the Ally McBeal Hour on Monday? Catch the new Ally Half Hour Series Tuesday. Then, she says,
I love you, Eric.
He says,
I love cake.
And all new That 70s Show.
Tuesday, starting at 7 on Fox 4.
Fox Tuesday. Will a troubled teen ruin Charlie?
Did she ever discuss her feelings for you?
Are you accusing me of something?
She's suggesting it's sexual.
And Claudia never dreamed being popular.
You want to go somewhere where the music's not so loud?
Could be dangerous.
Where are you going?
I'm saying no!
Party of 5.
Tuesday at 8 on Fox 4.
Our skyways are like highways. Everyone wants to get somewhere at the same time. That means major traffic jams on the runways and in the air. Still, the airlines want more flights. Can the system handle it? Fox 4 investigates tomorrow starting at 9 on the news station.
Fox. Change begins with you.
You pick up a newspaper, listen to a newscast. Pretty depressing stuff, right? Well, what are you going to do? Turn the channel or do something about it? If you don't want to see a kid turn out wrong tomorrow, then help him today. Make headlines in a kid's life. Become a mentor, because it really will make a difference.
Learn how you can make a difference. Contact the Metroplex Mentor Center. The beautiful Raymond Reed shop is now open inside Freedom Furniture. Tooled leather, rich fabric, the look is vintage, comfortable yet elegant.
Where the best homes get better. Freedom Furniture.
When you shop International Suit Warehouse, you'll save up to 65% on name brand clothing, shoes, and accessories. Come to our grand opening. Remember, International Suit Warehouse. Clothes so nice, you won't want to take them off.
Always very smooth. Legendary entertainer James Taylor performing right now at Morton Meyerson Symphony Hall in downtown Dallas.
But hours before the performance, Taylor played teacher to about 100 local high school students. Fox 4's Baron James joins us live with that story. Baron?
Erica, you know, James Taylor has actually been touring around the country with the help of the Grammy Awards folks, and today the Dallas Symphony Orchestra bringing his music to the ears of so many high school students. And today, local students got a chance to sit in on an interactive jam session. Some 100 amateur musicians from Garland High School listened to the sound of James Taylor's music. The multi-Grammy Award winner allowed the students to sit in on a pre-concert sound check with the Dallas Symphony Orchestra. The students even got a chance to talk shop with Taylor as part of the national mentoring program called Grammy Sessions.
Welcome, y'all. Glad you're here.
The discussions covered music concepts, issues, and careers in the recording industry.
Did you write the lyrics first and then the music, or write it together, or music first? Or?
Well, songs usually start with a lyrical idea and a musical idea happening sort of at the same time.
These kids weren't born when James Taylor first hit the music scene back in the 1960s. Yet many of these students had heard his music and of his troubled life with drug addiction, mental illness, and his marriage to fellow pop star Carly Simon. On this day, the lesson was about succeeding against the odds.
I've been kind of lost for a while, and
now they won't soon forget the legendary entertainer's classics like The Water is Wide, You've Got a Friend, Fire and Rain, or Sweet Baby James. By the end of the session, they had found a friend and a mentor in James Taylor.
He's cool. He's pretty cool for, well, I don't know if I should say it, an old guy.
He writes things that are personally, come from his personal life, you know, and that's really what, you know, just, it really turns me on to listen to him.
And James Taylor's Songs in the Key of Life, if you will continue on the Grammy Sessions tour with the next stop in Fort Worth. And the tour wraps up at the end of November with other stops around Texas. Reporting live from downtown, Baron James, Fox 4 News.
I'm Steve Stoller in San Francisco, where some folks want to give pets the same rights as children. I'll have a special report.
Also coming up at 10, a major HMO says doctors can call the shots and insurance will pay. Your insurance company may soon do the same. Plus, he's about to live in 3 different centuries, but this Fort Worth war veteran will not go to prison for trying to kill his grandson. I'm Clarice Tinsley. Fox 4 News at 10 is less than 2 minutes away.
Hey, Clarice Stevenson, I'm depressed now. Old guy.
Really? I want to. Oh.
Old guy.
I'm very motivated to go find the CD.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. You're not an old guy.
That's all we can aspire to now. It's pretty good for an old guy, Tim. That's what I'm saying. 10 o'clock news coming up quick. Stay right where you are.